Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, then pronounced to all the devotees. Thank you all very much for joining us for the teachings of Lord Chaitanya study session. Today we'll start with prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरद्विषे नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौरंगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं भङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरून् दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यमीश्वरं हरि ओं तत्सत् गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः आजानुलम्बितभुजौ कनकावदातौ सङ्कीर्तनैकपितरौ कमलायताक्षौ विश्वाम्भरौ द्विजवरौ युगधर्मपालौ वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरौ करुणावतारौ वन्दे गुरूनीशभक्तानीशं ईशावतारकान् तत्प्रकाशं सदच्छक्ति कृष्णचैतन्यसंयुतं वन्दे श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य नित्यानन्दौ सहोदितौ गौडोदे पुष्पवन्तौ चित्रौ छन्दोदमोदौ यदद्वैतं ब्रह्मोपनिषदि तदप्यस्य तनूभायात्मान्तर्यामि पुरुष इति सोषांशविभवः षडैश्वर्यै पूर्णो से भगवान् स स्वयं वयं न चैतन्यात् कृष्णात् जगति परतत्त्वं परमिह अनर्विरचनीं चिरात् करुणयावतीर्णः कलौ समर्पयितुमुन्नतो ज्वलरसां सुभक्तिश्रियम् हरिः पूर्णसुन्दरद्वितीकदम्बसन्दीपितः सदा हृदय कंदरे सुरदूवः शचिनन्दनः राधा कृष्ण प्रणेव कृतिर्लादिनी शक्तिरस्मात् एकात्मानावभिभुवि पुरदेहभेदं गतौ तौ चैतन्याख्यं प्रणमदना तद्वयं चैक्यमाप्तं राधा भावजुतिसुलितं नौमि कृष्णस्वरूपं श्रीराधाया प्रणयमहिमा कीदृशो वा नयैव स्वाध्यो येनाद्भुतमधुरिमा कीदृशो वा मदीयः सौख्यं चास्यमुदनुभवतः कीदृशं वेति लोभात् तद्भावाद्यः समजनि शचिगर्भसिन्धो हरिन्दुभो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. That was pronounced to all the devotees. Thank you all very much for joining in for our TLC session this afternoon. So we were reading about how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas. He is the embodiment of all the good qualities. That means Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Yashishashreya, Jnana Vairagyaschaiva, Sannam Bhaga Itingana. Krishna is avatari. Krishna is more merciful than, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's avatari. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is more merciful than Krishna himself. That's what we discussed last time, right? And how does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibit the quality of renunciation? He gave up everything at the age of 24. He became a sannyasi. He lived only for 48 years in this material universe, and then he went back to his eternal abode, the spiritual world. So in his 48 years that he was in this world, in the 24th year, that means 50% of his life he spent as a sannyasi. Why? Because he wanted to preach the message of Krishna consciousness, and he wanted people to take him seriously, right? At least in India, at that time at least. People offer obeisances to sannyasis. People hear what sannyasis say, etc. So just to make the common people get attracted to the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, we see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the supreme personality of Godhead, who is Krishna himself, actually took sannyas. And then, although he took sannyas, right? He actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself says, yeah, right? And Krishna also says, Janma karma cha me divya. What is that verse? Chaturvarnya maya shishtam guna karma vibhagashaha. So, although a sannyasi, it is said that a sannyasi stays in a householder's place only until the time, the milk is taken from a cow, right? Only the time of milking a cow. That is one muhurta or something like that. Only that much time a sannyasi actually spends time with a householder. Why? Because he goes to their house, he preaches the message of Krishna consciousness, and then he leaves. Right? Like that. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, actually, he accepted, we saw that he accepted lunch prasadam at Chandrasekhar Acharya's house. Right? He spent time with Ramananda Rai, right? Who's supposed to be the governor, who's supposed to be the, the controller, who's supposed to be a politician. But why? Why? Because although, whether, Kiba Vipra, Gibanyasi, Shudra Kenenaya, say Hari Tattva, say Krishna Tattva, say Guru Haya. Anyone who knows Krishna Tattva is a sannyasi, is somebody who preaches the message of Krishna consciousness, right? If you have the consciousness of Krishna, if you have Krishna consciousness, if you always speak about Krishna, whether we are born in a Vipra, a Brahminical family, or a Shudra family, or a Kshatriya family, or a Vaishya family, it does not really matter, right? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent time with these people, although they are apparently householders, although they are apparently controllers, although they are apparently holding political positions, like the governor of Chennai, etc. But their devotion to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the devotion to Lord Krishna was ultimate, right? They could give up everything for the pleasure of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and hence Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent time with them, right? Because Krishna says it is not by birth that one is determined to be a Brahmana or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or a Shudra, right? Guna karma vibhagashaha, according to one's guna, according to one's qualities, according to one's work, according to one's desires, one is determined whether one is a Brahmana or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or a Shudra. And Kalau is Shudra Sambhava. In Kali Yuga, everybody is a Shudra. But fortunately, by the grace of Guru and Gauranga, through the association of devotees, right, some are eternal Parshadas of the Lord who appear with the Lord. And they may become Grahasthas, they may become Vanaprasthas, maybe Sannyas, whatever form they are in. Right? They are the close associates of the Lord, and the Lord associates with them closely. Right? So, and the Lord was propagating the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. There were these Mayavadi sannyasis who were there. Right? They were thinking that why is this sannyasi not studying the Vedanta Sutra? Why is he chanting and dancing like a madman? Why is he behaving like a sentimentalist? Like that. These Mayavadi sannyasis were criticizing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And our Chandrasekhar Acharya, Ramananda Rai, and Haridas Thakur, and all of these associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they wanted that these Mayavadi sannyasis also get converted into Vaishnavism. So that is the nature of a devotee. A devotee actually, even the devotee wants everyone to get converted into Krishna consciousness, everyone to practice Krishna consciousness. So actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got invited to this place where there is a congregation, where there is a discussion about Vedanta in a Mayavadi, it's a gathering of all Mayavadi sannyasis. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is invited there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes and sits at the place where people wash their feet. And his effulgence is so much right? Although he's sitting near, the wash basin where the chappals are there, but he's sitting there, but yet he's a supreme Lord, right? So his effulgence is so much that Prakashananda Saraswati, right? The leader of the Mayavadi sannyasis, he comes and calls Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Please come and sit with us there. And then he says, oh, how can I come and sit with you all there? You are all very learned, right? In this way. And then Prakashananda Saraswati actually asks Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why are you not studying the Vedanta Sutra? Why are you dancing like a madman? Why are you always chanting and singing? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Like that. Why are you singing like a sentimentalist? Why are you not explaining the Vedanta Sutra? Like this. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, my spiritual master called me a fool. My spiritual master said, you simply chant and dance and continuously remember Krishna. Right? That is the best. Right? So in this way, I'm following his instructions. So this chapter is going to detail how this Prakashananda Saraswati, the leader of the Mayavadi sannyasis, is being converted by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not by logical debate or anything, but simply by his humility, right? By simply the way he interacts with them. He converts his Mayavadi sannyasi, and because he's a leader of the Mayavadi sannyasis, all of the Mayavadi sannyasis present there, they all become Vaishnavas. So that is going to be the topic of today's subject matter. How Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? Krishna said, what did Krishna say? Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam praja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami mahashuchaha. So Krishna said, surrender unto me. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in his avatar as the most munificent incarnation of Krishna, he actually explained how it is possible to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? With this, let's once again, yeah. So with this, let's move on to our study for today, where we continue with how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is meeting up with Prakashananda Saraswati and all of the Mayavadi sannyasis who have assembled together. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is visiting this place. Is actually sitting near the wash basin where people actually, remove their slippers, wash their hands, and then they go inside. Right? So there Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there. So let's see what is the conversation that happens between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Prakashananda Saraswati, and how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually converts Prakashananda Saraswati in this way. Yeah. So let's go ahead. Chapter number 19. I hope my screen is visible. All right. Okay, devotees would like to read can raise your hands. I can see Karpagavalli Mataji. Go ahead, Mataji. Chapter number 19. Go ahead.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Further talks with Prakasananda. Bhava is the transcendental ecstatic attachment for Krishna, which results from perfectly understanding that the person Krishna and the name Krishna are identical. One who has attained Bhava is certainly not contaminated by material nature. He enjoys transcendental pleasure from Bhava, and when Bhava is intensified, it is called the love of Godhead. Lord Chaitanya told Prakasananda Saraswati that the holy name of Krishna, the Mahamantra or the great chant, enables anyone who chants it to attain the stage of love of Godhead or intensified Bhava. Love of Godhead is the ultimate human necessity, for when one compares it with the other necessities, namely religion, economic development, sense gratification, and for when one and liberation, one can see that these others are more significant. When one is absorbed in temporary conditioned existence, he anchors after sense gratification and liberation. But love of Godhead is the eternal nature of the soul. It is unchangeable without beginning or end. Therefore, neither temporary sense gratification nor liberation can compare with the transcendental nature of love of God. Love of God is the fifth and ultimate goal of human life. Compared with the ocean of transcendental pleasure, that is love of God, the conception of impersonal Brahman is no more significant than a drop of water. Lord Chaitanya next explained that his spiritual master had confirmed the validity of the ecstasy he had left from the chanting of the holy name of God, and he has also confirmed that the essence of all Vedic literature is the attainment of love of God. Lord Chaitanya's spiritual master had said that the Lord was fortunate to have attained love of Godhead. The heart of one who attains such transcendental love becomes very anxious to attain direct contact with the Lord. Feeling such transcendental sentiments, One sometimes laughs, sometimes cries, sometimes sings, sometimes dances like a madman, and sometimes runs hither and thither. In this way, there are various ecstatic symptoms manifest: crying, changing bodily color, madness, bereavement, silence, pride, ecstasy, and gentleness. Often the person who has attained love of God dances, and such dancing places him in the ocean of nectar of love of Krishna. Shall I continue, Mataji?
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hmm.
Mataji. Sorry, I was on mute. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank
So
you.
here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually explaining the glory of simply chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Right? When Prakashananda Saraswati is actually asking Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why are you singing and dancing like a madman? You are a sannyasi. You should be talking about Vedanta Sutra. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying the goal of the Vedanta Sutra is attaining love of Godhead. Krishna also tells this in 15.15 of the Bhagavad Gita, right? Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matha smritirjnanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarvairahameva vedyo vedanta krit veda videva chaham vedaischa sarvairahameva vedyo. Right? By the end of it, studying of all of the scriptures, I am to be known. If you are studying the entire Bhagavad Gita, we are studying the entire Bhagavatam, but we don't realize that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, then it becomes Shrama Evahi Kevalam. It is useless labor. Because what happens to a person who studies the entire year, right, but is not able to go and give the exam, or has studied all the mathematical formulas, but does not know which formula to apply to which particular question in the mathematical problem? There is a word problem. You know the formula, we cannot apply. We need to also practice so that we know which formula to apply to which word problem, so that we get the correct answer, isn't it? So similarly, just the study of the Vedic scriptures is not enough. Of course, it is an essential aspect of devotional service that we study the Shastras, but more important than that is to understand how to apply the Shastric principles in our life, so that we know why we are studying, why we are doing certain things, and what is the goal of performing all of these things. The goal of performing all of these things is Krishna Prema. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining here that simply by chanting and dancing, we can attain that Krishna Prema. Right? This is the great mantra for deliverance. Prabhupada says the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. That means this transcendental holy names of the Lord has descended from the spiritual world. There is no need to understand, Prabhupada says in his very, very famous lecture, there is no need to understand the language of the mantra, nor is there any previous qualification that is required to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Even a child can take part in chanting, even a dog can take part in chanting. This is the original 1966 lecture of Srila Prabhupada. At that time, when Prabhupada did not have any follower at that time, right? Prabhupada could have compromised on his principles. Prabhupada could have said anything to get followers. But this is the lecture that Prabhupada said. Simply chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and you will understand the Veda Anta. Veda Anta means Veda, the Vedic scriptures. Anta means conclusion. The conclusion of the Vedas is to understand Krishna as the Supreme Lord. I am the servant of Krishna. I need to reawaken my love for Krishna, and I need to serve Krishna. So when we understand this is the Vedanta, right? So when Prakashananda Saraswati is actually asking Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, generally the goal of the studies of Vedic scriptures is Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Right? Is what is Dharma? We understand how to attain certain things in life, right? What is the goal of life? How should I perform my Dharma? Then, why do we perform Dharma? Artha. Because we want some money, we want to maintain our life, we want to live in a nice, in a nice way in this material world. So, Artha, we need money. And Kama, we want fulfillment of certain desires. We want to get a better job, we want more money, we want to acquire name, fame, glory. And what is the ultimate sense gratification? That is moksha. That means I want to come out of all of these material miseries. I want to attain the Brahman platform. Na shochati, na kankshati, right? What is that? Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati. That Brahman stage is the best position, right, for a materialistic person. Why? Because at that particular level, there is no need, there is no hankering, and there is no lamenting that is there. Why? Because the person has advanced or transcended the three modes of material nature. He's transcended the platform that is a material body, isn't it? So in that way, one who reaches this platform is very, very is in a very, very elevated platform. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here is saying that the 4 Purusharthas are not enough. So what is it that we need to aspire for? We need to aspire for the 5th Purushartha. What is the 5th Purushartha? Over and above Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha is the Purushartha of Krishna Prema. That means I may not have realized the Brahman platform also, but yet I can get some bliss which is much, much more than the Brahman realization. How is that possible? Simply by seva. Because whether you want dharma, artha, kama, or even moksha, I'm talking about I want dharma. I want artha. I want to satisfy my desires. I want liberation. I want to escape myself from this materialistic platform. Why? Because I am suffering in this world, right? That is why they want to merge with the Brahman. This body is giving me a lot of trouble. I don't want this body. I want to merge with the Brahman, right? But they don't realize that there is a spiritual body that we can acquire, wherein all of these things don't occur. There is no birth, there is no death, there is no old age, there is no disease, and in an eternal form, which is our Sthayi Bhava, which is our constitutional position, we can serve the Supreme Lord, right? Padma Patra Ivambasa, situated in this material world, we can experience that same bliss if you are serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even if you are aspiring for the 5th Purushartha, which is the love of Godhead, which is Krishna Prema, then one can actually experience that bliss simply by serving and satisfying and pleasing Guru and Gauranga. But a person who's very wealthy, a person who's very healthy, a person who's very beautiful, a person who's very famous cannot say that I'm happy all the time, right? I can be happy for some time, but this too shall pass, right? If I'm happy now, I know some misery is around the corner. I'm just going to wait. I'm waiting to get that news. If I'm extremely miserable, then also I know there is going to be an end of this misery and there is going to be absence of misery, which I'm going to perceive as happiness in some time in the future, right? So all of this is changing, and hence dhiras tatrana muyati. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, an intelligent person does not dwell in these dualities of happiness and distress, but rather whatever be the state, right? In this situation, how can I serve Guru and Gauranga? In that state, when one is situated, when one pleases Guru and Gauranga, then the highest stage is to experience all those ecstasies. But the beginning stage also, even when we are practicing as sadhaka bhaktas, we derive the bliss of having satisfied our gurus, right? So in that way, our desire, whatever level we may be, right? Whether we are practicing for 1 year, whether we're practicing for 10 days, whether we've just come into Krishna consciousness, we should know our goal. We know that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. I am the servant of the Lord. I need to serve the Lord. And how do I serve the Lord? Through the instructions of my gurus, I'm going to serve the Lord. And that is all that needs to be known. And as we continue with this process of Krishna consciousness, we become more and more evolved. And in that way, our consciousness becomes more and more pure. And then our desire to serve the Lord, to serve Guru and Gauranga becomes predominant in our mind to the extent that all the other things become pale. Right? That is where we need to aspire for by chanting with absorption, attention, and awareness. Yeah, so that is what is explained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here as the 5th Purushartha, which can be attained simply by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Okay, let's go ahead. Rajneesh Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, yes.
Lord Chaitanya said that his spiritual master told him, "It is very good that you have attained such a perfectional stage of love of God. Because of your attainment, I am very much obliged to you, Father Son, and Levan, when he sees his son advance beyond himself. Similarly, the spiritual master takes more pleasure in seeing his disciple advance than in advance. Thus, Lord Chaitanya's spiritual master does him, telling him, dance, sing, propagate this Sankirtan movement, and by instructing people about Krishna, try to deliver them from nuisance. Lord Chaitanya's spiritual master also taught him the following very nice verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:22. Evam brata sabha
प्रियनाम कीर्त्या जातानुरागो युतचित्त उच्चैः हसत्यचोरोदितिरौति घायति उन्मादवनृत्यति लोकभायः.
The person who constantly engages in devotional service by chanting his holy name, becomes so transcendently attached to the chanting that his heart becomes softened, without extraneous endeavor. When this happens, he exhibits transcendental ecstasies by some, sometimes laughing, sometimes crying, sometimes not exactly in an artistic way, but just like a madman. Lord Chaitanya further informed Prakashananda Saraswati, because I have full faith in my spiritual master's word, I always engage in chanting Hare Ram, Hare. I don't know how I have become just like a madman, but I believe the name of what I believe, but I believe the name of Krishna has induced. I have realized that transcendental prayer derived from the chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram is just like an Krishna in comparison to which all other pleasures, including the pleasure of impersonal realization, are like the shallow water. It appears from the talks of Lord Chaitanya that a person who cannot keep his faith in words of his spiritual master and who acts independently cannot attain his desired success chanting Hare Krishna. In the Vedic literature, it is stated that the import of all transcendental literature is revealed to one who has unflinching faith in his Lord and his Lord Chaitanya firmly believed the statements of his spiritual master, and he never neglected the actions of his spiritual master by stopping his Sankirtan movement. Thus, the transcendental potency of the holy name encouraged him more and more in chanting Hare Krishna. Lord
Hare
Chaitanya
Krishna.
next.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Very good. So, yasya deve parabhaktir yata deve tata grow. Tasya hi katha artha prakashante mahatmanah. So there is a beautiful verse which says that whatever we can understand in the spiritual transcendental knowledge is always acquired only by the blessing of our gurus. Right? Only when one has equal faith in Guru and Krishna. Yasya deve, what is that? Guru and Krishna. Yasya deve parabhaktir, right? So only when one has complete faith in Guru and Krishna, katha hi artaha prakashante mahatmanah. So who is the Mahatma? The Mahatma is a great soul who is actually surrendered to the Lord, who is the pure spiritual master. And when we have faith in Guru and Krishna, then what happens? Yata deve tatha guru, right? We have faith in Krishna, deve, tatha guru, and faith also in the spiritual master. Then only the Vedic imports, the transcendental imports of the Vedic literatures can be revealed in our heart by the mercy of the spiritual master. Otherwise, by our own ratta marifying, our own study, right? Atha Sri Krishna Namadi Nava Vegrahim Indriyahi Sevon Mukehi Jivadao Swayameva Suratyadaha. So we cannot understand the Supreme Lord by our own endeavor. Atha Shri Krishna Nama Adi. That means Lord Krishna's name, form, pastimes, his dharma, right? All of this, na bhaved grahim indriyahi. We cannot understand by our senses. We cannot understand by our endeavor. However, sevon mukehi jivadav. When we engage in the service of the Lord under the instruction of a bona fide spiritual master, swayameva suratyadaha. That means the Lord will reveal himself to us. The Lord will reveal the glory of his transcendental name, the glory of his transcendental form to us. When he reveals it to us, then only we will be able to understand. That is why unflinching faith in the Supreme Lord as well as unflinching faith in the spiritual master, right? Like in the morning also we were discussing during Brahma Muhurta session. The mercy also flows down through the Guru Parampara. It is not that tomorrow morning I will wake up and Krishna will directly instruct me. No, right? Who am I? I'm such an insignificant soul. I'm just trying to reawaken my love for Krishna, right? How will Krishna directly talk to me, right? The mercy of Lord Shri Krishna flows down through the Guru Parampara. I'm part of Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. right? Our Adi Guru is Brahmaji himself, right? Brahma got this knowledge from Krishna, and Brahma is passing down this knowledge through Narada, through Vyasa, and in this way it is coming down. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right, also is coming in this disciplic succession. When he appeared in this Kali Yuga, he was Krishna himself. And then coming down, we have Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, we have A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and then now we have all the disciples of Srila Prabhupada who are leading this mission, isn't it? So this knowledge, this mercy is flowing down through the disciplic succession, and also our endeavor to please also will flow up through the disciplic succession, because we don't know what will please Krishna, right? Situated in my position right now, I have so many thoughts that come into my mind. I don't know what is the word of the Lord from my heart, and I don't know what my mind is tricking me with. So how do I please the Lord? Is there no way I can please the Lord? Yes, there is a way to please the Lord. How? By following in the instructions of our Siksha Gurus and our Diksha Guru. When we follow their instructions and work according to what they say, we will please them. And then in this way, we will please our Diksha Guru. We will please Srila Prabhupada. We will please Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. We will please Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Jagannathas Babaji Maharaj. Like that, we will be pleasing the entire Guru Parampara. And like that, it will go up all the way. We will please Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all the way up to Sri Sri Radha Krishna. So this is the way in which we can please Guru and Gauranga. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasadho, yasya prasadan nagati kutopi, dhyayan stuvam stasya yasya stri sandhyam, vande guru shri charanarvindam. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasad. If only if we please our gurus, we can please Krishna. Yasya prasadan nagati kutopi. If we don't please our gurus, we cannot imagine or we cannot dream that we'll directly please Krishna. That is not possible. This is given by Krishna himself. Right? Yasya deve parabhaktir yata devi tata guru. We need to have unflinching faith in the Lord. We need to have unflinching faith in our spiritual master. We need to follow the instructions of our spiritual masters. Only then the transcendental potency of the holy name will reveal itself in our heart by the mercy of Guru and Gauranga. So that is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying here. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, I am able to chant and dance in ecstasy. He is the Supreme Lord. Even the Supreme Lord is accepted as spiritual master, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted Ishwar Puri, Krishna himself. He is the Supreme Lord. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are all Supreme Lord. They all are showing us by example how transcendental knowledge cannot be understood without the mercy of a spiritual master. Krishna took Santipani Muni as his guru. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took initiation from Ishwara Puri. So, who are we? Right? We are conditioned souls. But for us to even clear our heart of all the anarthas, we need a guru. We need a person who tells us what to do, what not to do, so that I can progress in devotional service. That is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing by his own example, how I have taken a spiritual master, and by following the instructions of my spiritual master, I am experiencing transcendental bliss. So this is the way that is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, let's move forward. Deval Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Lord Chaitanya next informed Prakashananda that in the modern age, people in general are more or less bereft of spiritual intellect. When such people come under the influence of Shankaracharya's Mayavada, impersonalist philosophy, before beginning the most confidential Vedanta Sutra, their natural tendency towards obedience to the Supreme is checked. The Supreme Source of everything is naturally respected by everyone. But this natural tendency is hampered when one takes to the impersonalist conceptions of Shankara. Thus, the spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya suggested that it is better not to study the Shariraka Bhasya of Shankaracharya, for it is very harmful to people in general. Indeed, the common man does not even have the intelligence to penetrate into the jugglery of words. He is better advised to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In this quarrelsome age of Kali, there is no alternative for self-realization. After hearing the arguments and talks of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the Mayavadi sannyasis who were present became pacified and replied with sweet words. Dear sir, what you have spoken is all true. A person who attains love of Godhead is certainly very fortunate, and undoubtedly you are very fortunate to have attained this stage. But what is the fault in the Vedanta? It is the duty of a sannyasi to read and understand it. Understand the Vedanta. Why do you not study it? According to Mayavadi philosophers, the Vedanta refers to the Sharirika commentary of Shankaracharya. When impersonalist philosophers refer to the Vedanta and the Upanishads, they are actually referring to these works as understood through the commentaries of Shankaracharya, the greatest teacher of Mayavada philosophy. After Shankaracharya came Sadananda Yogendra, claimed that the Vedanta and Upanishads should be understood through the commentaries of Shankaracharya. Factually, this is not so. There are many commentaries on the Vedanta and the Upanishads made by Vaishnava Acharyas, and these are preferred to those of Shankaracharya. But the Mayavadi philosophers influenced by Shankaracharya do not attribute any importance to the Vaishnava understanding. There are 4 different sects of Vaishnava Acharyas, and each follows a different variation of personalism. Shuddha Dvaita, Vishishta Advaita, Dvaita Advaita, and Achintya Bheda Bheda. All the Vaishnavacharyas in these schools have written commentaries on the Vedanta Sutra, but the Mayavadi philosophers do not recognize them. The Mayavadis distinguish between Krishna and Krishna's body, and therefore they do not recognize the worship of Krishna by the Vaishnava philosophers. Thus, when the Mayavadi sannyasis asked Lord Chaitanya why he did not study the Vedanta Sutra, the Lord replied, "Dear sirs, you have asked why I do not study the Vedanta, and in answer to this, I could speak something, but I'm afraid you would be sorry to hear it." All the Mayavadi sannyasis replied, Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Pranam.
A very interesting conversation is going to happen now between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Prakashananda Saraswati, right? Wherein Prakashananda Saraswati is going to challenge Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is already telling him, right? So I'm okay. I'll discuss the Vedanta Sutra with you. But then you will not feel, when we get defeated, we'll feel very bad, right? We think, oh, I should not have entered into this discussion at all, right? This person is defeating me, left, right, and center, isn't it? So this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving a Chetavani before only, right? You will feel sorry if you engage in this discussion with me. But if you really want to do it, I can get into it, right? Because they are following the Shankaracharya's Sharirika Bhashya, right? Which is saying that everyone is God, right? Right now, I have not realized that I'm God because I'm having so many anarthas. But I practice this yoga system, and then I perform all of these Ashtanga yogas, etc. And then what happens? All my anarthas will go away, and then I will become God, right? And Prabhupada declares that this is the last snare of Maya, right? That I can become God. This is the last snare of Maya. So now Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he's going to explain the Vedanta Sutras, he's going to completely defeat Prakashananda Saraswati. So before that only he's telling that initially he said that, my spiritual master is calling me a fool because I don't really understand. Why do we not understand the Vedanta Sutra simply by studying it? Right? We all know we have 4 defects, isn't it? Only the Supreme Personality of Godhead is beyond the 4 defects, right? The 4 defects are: we have the tendency to cheat, we have the tendency to commit mistakes, we have the tendency to we have imperfect senses, and we have we are put into illusion, right? These 4 defects are always there with conditioned living entities, the jivas, right? With this conditioning, because of their being a living entity, we will not be able to understand anything simply by studying the Vedanta Sutras. So what is the way of studying? It is not Aroha Pantha. Aroha Pantha means I will study this. Okay, this will not be good. This is not good. This is not good. Let me go ahead. That is material education, right? We study from the books, etc. But then transcendental subject matters are understood by the Avaroha Pantha. What is Avaroha Pantha? That means the knowledge is already given by Lord Sri Krishna in the disciplic succession. One of the 4 disciplic successions is what we are part of, which is Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Vaishnava, Guru Parampara. So we are part of the Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Vaishnava, Guru Parampara. So we accept the teachings as given by Lord Sri Krishna through Brahmaji, through Naradaji, through Vyasa. And in this way, in the disciplic succession, the knowledge is coming down, right? And what do these 4 Vaishnava philosophies actually say? Shuddha Advaita, Vishishta Advaita, Dvaita Advaita, Nachintya Bheda Bheda. That means the Dvaita is always there in everything, right? Shuddha Dvaita, Vishishta Dvaita, Dvaita Dvaita, Achintya Bheda Bheda. Achintya Bheda Bheda, we know that we are equal to the Lord in quantity, but we are different in, we are equal to the Lord in quality, but we are different in quantity. Just like Prabhupada gives the example of a drop of water in the ocean is equal to the ocean in terms of its chemical composition. The amount of salt or whatever its chemical composition, it is equal. But the quantity or the unlimitedness of the ocean is the ocean is unlimited in compared to the small drop. The ocean can actually flood towns and cities and villages. Whereas a drop cannot do anything, right? The drop will just fall and then it'll vanish, isn't it? So in that way, Dvaita, that means the Lord is separate and we are separate. Even when we perfect our life, we will eternally be servitors of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the teaching of all the four bona fide Guru Paramparas. What are the four? Lakshmi Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, and then Kumara Sampradaya, and our Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. All of these four bona fide Paramparas are talking about Dvaita. But Shankaracharya Sharirika Bhashya is talking about Advaita. That means what? I can become God. Once I perfect my my illusion, once I come out of my illusion that I am this body, once I understand that I am the soul, right? Then what happens? Slowly I can realize that I will become God. This is the Mayavadi this is the Mayavadi understanding, right? But Shankaracharya actually at the end of his life, what did he sing? Last instruction what he gave is Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Right? He said Bhaja Govindam. Although he confused everybody, right? He is the incarnation of Lord Shiva. So, what did he preach finally? Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Mudhamate. Right? Oh fools, don't do all these things. Right? Don't study scriptures on your own and try to misinterpret and waste your human form of life. Right? Samprapte sannihite kale nahi rakshati dukrin karane. Nahi rakshati. There is going to be no protection for you except taking the holy names of Lord Govinda. There is no protection that is available in all these misinterpretations, all these philosophical arguments and all of this. That is what was the final knowledge given by Shankaracharya. But people who want to be deluded, people who want to get confused, they will always get confused. Even if the truth is given to them in a platter, they want to get confused because they want to become God. Right? Prabhupada says in one of his lectures, if you want to serve God, the Lord will tell you ways of how to serve him. But if you want to compete with God, why would the Lord want to reveal himself to you? Lord will put you in a place where you try to become God. And when you're frustrated in that attempt, that you can never become God. Because our position is Jivera Swarupaye, Krishna and Nitya Das. My position is that of a servant. When I try to become a master that is against my constitutional position, I will always be frustrated. In that frustrated condition, then I will surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So either we understand all of us have gone through. We know that there is no happiness in this material world. Yet some of us have learned it. Some of us are trying to become servants of the Lord. Right? Although the conditioning is there, we are slowly trying to overcome our conditioning and become servant of the Lord. But some people, they deny it. They don't want to serve the Lord. Right? So a time will come. Right? It is said that everybody is a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is only that some of us have realized it, some of us are yet to realize it, right? Otherwise, our constitutional position is that we are servants, right? So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying here, why do I not study the Vedanta? Because the jivas and the living entities are not supposed to study the Vedanta. They are supposed to get the transcendental knowledge through the bona fide disciplic succession. So, I am happy to explain this to you. Right? But you should be in the proper frame of mind. You should have an open mind. Only then you'll be able to understand what I'm trying to tell you, right? Otherwise, you will feel sorry that you ever asked me to discuss this with you, right? Let's go ahead. Okay, all the Mayavadi sannyasis replied. Okay, Sudha Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam, yes.
All the Mayavadi sannyasis replied, we shall be very much pleased to hear you because we see that you are just like Narayana and your speeches are so nice that we are taking great pleasure in them. We are very much obliged to see and hear you. Therefore, we shall be very glad to hear patiently and accept whatever you say. The Lord then began to speak on Vedanta philosophy as follows. The Vedanta Sutra is spoken by the Supreme Lord himself. The Supreme Lord, in his incarnation as Vyasadeva, has compiled this great philosophical treatise. Since Vyasadeva is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord, he cannot be likened to an ordinary person who has the four defects which arise due to contact with material existence. The defects of a conditioned soul are: 1. He must commit mistakes. 2. He must be illusion. 3. He must possess the tendency to cheat others. And 4. All his senses must be imperfect. We must understand that the incarnation of God is transcendental to all these defects. Thus, whatever has been spoken and written by Vyasadeva is considered to be perfect. The Upanishads and Vedanta Sutra aim at the same goal, the supreme absolute truth. When we accept the direct import of the Vedanta Sutra and Upanishads, that is glorious. But the commentaries made by Shankaracharya are indirect and are thus very dangerous for the common man to read. For by understanding the import of the Upanishads in such an indirect, disruptive way, one practically bars himself from spiritual realization. According to the Skanda and Vayu Puranas, the word sutra refers to a condensed work which carries meaning and import of immeasurable strength without any mistake or fault. The word Vedanta means the end of Vedic knowledge. In other words, any book which deals with a subject matter indicated by all the Vedas is called Vedanta. For example, the Bhagavad Gita is Vedanta because in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that the ultimate goal of all Vedic research is Krishna. Thus, one should understand that the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, which aim only at Krishna, are Vedanta. In transcendental realization, there are three divisions of knowledge called Prasthanatraya, that department of knowledge which is proved by Vedic instruction, like the Upanishads, is called Shruti Prasthana. Authoritative books indicating the ultimate goal and written by liberated souls like Vyasadeva, for example, the Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, and Puranas, especially Srimad Bhagavatam, the Mahapurana, are called Smriti Prasthana. From the Vedic literature, we understand that the Vedas originated from the breathing of Narayana. Vyasadeva, who is an incarnation of the power of Narayana, compiled the Vedanta Sutra, Nyaya Prasthana. But according to Shankara's commentaries, Apantaratma Rishi is also sometimes credited with having compiled the aphorisms of the Vedanta Sutra. According to Lord Chaitanya, the conclusions of the verses of the Pancharatra and the aphorisms of the Vedanta are one and the same. Since the Vedanta Sutra is compiled by Vyasadeva, it should be understood to be spoken by Narayana himself. From all the descriptive literature dealing with the Vedanta Sutra, it appears that there were many other rishis contemporary with Vyasadeva who also discussed the Vedanta Sutra. These sages were Atreya, Asmaratya, Audulomi, Karshna Krsna, Jaimini, and Badri, while other sages such as Parashari and Karmandi discussed the Vedanta before Vyasadeva. In the first two chapters of the Vedanta Sutra, the relationship between the living entities and the Supreme Lord is explained, and in the third chapter, the discharge of devotional service is explained. The fourth chapter deals with the result of discharging devotional service. The natural commentary on the Vedanta Sutra is Srimad Bhagavatam. The great acharyas of the four Vaishnava communities, Sampradayas, namely Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Vishnu Swami, and Nimbarka, have also written commentaries on the Vedanta Sutra by following the principles of Srimad Bhagavatam. The followers of these acharyas down to the present day have written many books following the principles of Srimad Bhagavatam and accepting it as a natural commentary on the Vedanta on the Vedanta. Shankara's commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, known as the Sharirika Bhasya, is very much adored by the impersonal scholars, but such materialist commentaries are completely adverse to the transcendental service of the Lord. Consequently, Lord Chaitanya said that direct commentaries on the Upanishads and Vedanta Sutra are glorious, but that anyone who follows the indirect path of Shankaracharya's Sharirika Bhasya is certainly doomed. Lord Chaitanya admitted that Shankaracharya was an incarnation of Lord Shiva, and it is known that Lord Shiva is one of the greatest devotees, a Mahajana of the Bhagavata school. There are 12 Mahajanas, great authorities on devotional service, and Lord Shiva is one of them. Why then did he adopt the process of Mayavadi philosophy? The answer is given in the Shiva Purana, where the Supreme Lord tells Shiva, द्वापारदौ युगे भूत्वा कलाय मानुसादिषु स्वागमयि कल्पतैस्त्वं च जनान् मद्विमुखान् कुरु. In the beginning of Kali Yuga, by my order, bewilder the people in general with Mayavada philosophy. In the Padma Purana, the Lord Shiva tells his wife Bhagavati Devi,
मायावादम् असच्छास्त्रम् प्रचन्नं बौद्धमुच्यते मयैव कल्पितं देवी कलो ब्राह्मणरूपिणा. ब्राह्मणश्चा परं रूपं निर्गुणं वक्ष्यते मया सर्वस्वं जगतोऽप्यस्य मोहनार्थं खलौ युगे वेदान्ते तु महाशास्त्रे मायावादम् अवैदिकं मयैव वक्ष्यते देवी जगतां नाशकारणात्.
The Mayavadi philosophy is veiled Buddhism. In other words, the voidist philosophy of Buddha is more or less repeated in the Mayavad philosophy of impersonalism, although the Mayavadi philosophers claim to be directed by the Vedic conclusions. As a Brahmana boy, I manufactured this philosophy in the age of Kali to mislead the atheists. Actually, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has his transcendental body, but I describe the Supreme as impersonal. I also explain the Vedanta Sutra according to the same principles of Mayavadi philosophy. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So here, ahustvam rishiyas sarva devarishi naradasthatha asito devalo vyasa swayam chaiva bravishime. So Arjuna told this to Lord Shri Krishna, right? Not only are you declaring yourself to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but I've heard this also from various other sages, right? Asita, Devala, Vyasa, like that. So here also, we see here that this Mayavada philosophy that is given by Shankaracharya was actually specifically given by Lord Krishna himself. He advised Lord Shiva to actually bring the people into illusion. Why? Because at that time, every incarnation of the Lord has a specific purpose to fulfill, right? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Like that Krishna says, whenever I appear, it is for a particular purpose. At that particular point in time, there was, this complete using the Vedic Shastras. They were actually killing the animals and enjoying sense gratification, right? Because it is given in the Shastras. So that is why people took there are several Puranas. For those who are in Tamasic mode, there is a Tamasic Purana. There is for Rajasic people, there is a Rajasic Purana. There for Sattvic people, there is a Sattvic Purana. But Srimad Bhagavatam is Amala Puran. It is Shuddha Sattvic. It is beyond the three modes of material nature, right? So people who are in Tamoguna, they read the Tamoguna, Shastras, and then why is that given? Why is the Tamoguna Shastra given? That on an Amavasya day, you can cut a goat, offer it to Kali, and then you can have meat, right? Why was that given, right? It was given because people were actually indiscriminately killing animals for sense gratification. Every day they would kill. So at least to regulate these people who cannot give up meat eating completely because they are tamoguna, people who are in tamoguna, at least to regulate them, it is mentioned that on the day of Amavasya, you go and do all these things. You then, you call a Brahmana, let him chant some mantras, and then let him, cut the goat and offer it to Mother Kali, right? So one is they cannot have whenever they want. They have to wait for an Amavasya day, and then they have to do all these rituals, and then they may do. At least it's a bit regulated because they cannot give up. So that was the reason why this Vedic scriptures actually mentioned about, the killing of the animals and eating them, because some people are not able to give up because they are being caught up so much in the modes of material nature. So to bewilder these kind of people who want to get bewildered, who don't want to understand that the Supreme Lord is Krishna, the Supreme Lord is a person, because they want to get bewildered, because they want to become God themselves, right? They are being illusioned by saying that, okay, you follow this Mayavadism, this all these, study of the Vedic scriptures, and then ultimately what you will become God. And that is where this wrong understanding is given by Shankaracharya. Why? To bewilder those people who want to get bewildered, right? Otherwise, the four sampradayas are already there. And it is always stated in the Vedic scriptures that follow one of the four bona fide sampradayas, right? If we want to get bewildered, we will get bewildered. And subsequently also a lot of references are given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here, which are references given by Lord Shiva to Parvati, right? Why he is bewildering all those people who want to get bewildered in this age of Kali. So let's quickly read that. Let me share my screen. So in the beginning of Kali Yuga, by my order, bewilder the people who are following Mayavada philosophy. In the Padma Puran, Lord Shiva tells his wife Bhagavati Devi, Mayavadam Ashatshastram Prachannam Bodham Uchyate Maya Iva Kalpitam Devi Kalo Brahmana Rupina. Yeah, this is what we already read, right? In this Mayavada philosophy, I'm going to manufacture this philosophy of the age of Kali simply to bewilder all the people who want to get bewildered. Lord Shiva continues speaking to Bhagavati Devi. Shruno Devi means, oh here, Devi, Parvati. Shruno Devi pravakshami tamasani yathakramam yesham shravana matrena patityam jnaninaanapi apartam shruti vakyanam darshayalloka garhitam karma swarupa tyajyatvam atra cha pratipadyate sarvakarma paribhramshan naishkarmyam tatra chocyate paratma jivayoraikyam mayatra apratipadyate. Okay, Vrishabhanu Kanya Mataji, please go ahead and read. My dear Devi, sometimes I teach Mayavada philosophy for those who are engrossed in the mode of ignorance. But anyone in the mode of goodness who happens to hear this Mayavada philosophy falls down. For when I teach Mayavada philosophy, I say that the living entity and the Supreme Lord are one and the same. Okay, Vanasi Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna
Pranam.
Mataji.
Sadananda Yogi, one of the greatest Mayavadi acharyas, has written in the book Vedanta Sutra, the absolute truth of eternity, knowledge, and bliss is Brahman. Ignorance and all products of ignorance are non-Brahman. All products of the three modes of material nature are covered by ignorance, and all are in form the law, the supreme cause and effect. The ignorance is manifested in a collective and individual sense. Collective ignorance is called Vashuddha Sattva Pradhana. When that Vishuddha Sattva Pradhana is manifest under the ignorance of material nature, it is called the Lord, and the Lord manifests all kinds of ignorance. Therefore, he is known as Sarvagya. Thus, according to Mayavadi philosophy, the Lord is a product of this material nature, and the living entity is in the lowest stage of ignorance. That is the sum and substance of Mayavadi philosophy. If, however, we accept the import of the Upanishads directly, it is
Clear that
If, however, we accept the import of the Upanishads directly, it is clear that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is a person with unlimited potency. For example, in the Shvetashvara Upanishad, it is stated that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the origin of everything and that he has multiple potencies. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is transcendental to the cosmic manifestation. He is the origin of all religion, the supreme deliverer and the possessor of all opulences. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is just like the sun, profusely distributes his energy while situated beyond the cloud of this material cosmic manifestation. He is the master of masters and he is the supreme of all the supremes. He is known as the greatest Lord, the personality of Godhead. His energies and potencies are multiple and variously distributed. It is also stated that Vishnu is the supreme and that saintly persons are always anxious to see his lotus feet. Rig Veda 1.22.20. In the Aitareya Upanishad, it is also stated that the cosmic manifestation came about when the Lord glanced over material nature 1.1.1-2. This is also verified by the Krsna Upanishad 6.3. In the negative descriptions of the Lord, which occur in Vedic literature, as in Apanipada, there are indications that the Lord has no material body and no material form. However, he does have his spiritual transcendental form, and his transcendental form, because the Mayavadi philosophers misunderstood his transcendental nature, they explained him as impersonal. The Lord's name, form, quality, entourage, and abode are all the transcendental world, are all in the transcendental world. How can he be a transformation of this material nature? Everything connected with the Supreme Lord is eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. In effect, Shankaracharya preached Mayavadi philosophy in order to bewilder a certain type of atheist. Now, actually, he never considered the Supreme Lord, the personality of God, to be impersonal or have no form, no body or form. It is best for intelligent persons to avoid lectures on Mayavadi philosophy. We should understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, is not impersonal. He is a transcendental person, and the basic principle of the cosmic manifestation is his energy. Mayavadi philosophy cannot trace the energy of the Supreme Lord, but all Vedic literatures give evidence of the Supreme Lord's various energetic manifestations. Vishnu is not a product of material nature, but material nature is a product of Vishnu's potency. The Mayavadi philosophers understand Vishnu to be a product of material nature. But if Vishnu is a product of material nature, he can only be counted amongst the demigods. One who considers Vishnu to be a demigod is certainly mistaken and misled. How this is so explained in Bhagavad Gita. Deluded by the three modes, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. BG 7.13 and 14. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mansi Mataji. Right? Daivi Hayesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duradjaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Maya Mita Right? So Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita that this divine energy of mine is very, very difficult to overcome. But one who surrenders unto me is able to easily cross beyond it. Right? So that is our only hope. So this is the teaching of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Prakashananda Saraswati. So that this conversation is going on in the next chapter also, the couple of next chapters, wherein Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining to Prakashananda Saraswati that eternally the Jiva and the Lord are two different identities, and they always retain their identity. One is the enjoyer, one is the servitor, and that relationship is always existing. It is no point in time that the enjoyer and the servitor become one and the same. That never happens, right? And in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the next couple of chapters we'll be reading. We'll continue this tomorrow. Chapter number 20. How Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continues on his discussion with Prakashananda Saraswati. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much. Let's do Harinam Sankirtan, and we'll also like to see our devotees who have joined us on Zoom today for our teaching of Lord Chaitanya study. Nama Om Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschathyadi Shotarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitai Jaya, Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadrama Jaya Sudarshana, Jaya Bala Gopal Jaya, Radha Madhav Jaya Shri Radha Rasa Bihari Jaya, Radha Sham Sundar, Radha Sham Sundar, Radha Sham Sundar, Shri Radhe Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jai Radhe Sham Jaya, Vrindavan Dham Jaya Radhe Sham, Jaya Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Radhe Radhe Jaya, Radhe Radhe Jaya, Radhe Radhe Jaya, Radhe Radhe. Jai Shri Radhe Jaya, Jai Prabhupada, Gurudev Jai Jai Gurudev, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Bol. पांचकल्पद्रुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय गाय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। So before we see who are all there in today's session, tomorrow is the most auspicious Nirjala Ekadashi. Nirjala Ekadashi Mahamotsava ki jai. So we'll open the Ekadashi Sankalpa group. I would request devotees to give your Sankalpa as per what you can. There should be a little pinch every time, right? It's not that if you're able to easily complete 32 rounds on every Ekadashi, then we should try to do 64 rounds on this Ekadashi. If we're able to do 64 rounds on every Ekadashi, then we should try to do a little more according to what we can do, plus a little bit of endeavor, because we want to get mercy of Guru and Gauranga. So in this way, please update your Sankalpa. So tomorrow morning, as we wake up, our only intention is I want to chant as many rounds as possible. And today, that's the only thing I want to do, right? Because it's Nirjala fasting. So there is no need to even fill the water bottle. By morning, we will just offer to their lordships. And then, so all the time, 24 hours, we have until we break our fast on Dwadashi Tithi, or the entire 24 hours we have to chant the glories of the Lord. We will discuss teachings of Lord Chaitanya. We will sing bhajans. We will have our special session at 12:30 p.m. And we will also study teachings of Lord Chaitanya, maybe, because it's a very interesting section. So tomorrow we'll also do teachings of Lord Chaitanya, and then we're also doing Bhagavad Gita, and then we will also sing this song. We'll sing some Vaishnava bhajan also. We'll see how, but please do join us. So tomorrow morning, Brahma Muhurta chanting, and then we meet at 12:30 p.m. for the special session, Ekadashi special session, and then we continue with our chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and then we report in the group. Yeah. So as much as possible, we chant Hare Krishna, and whenever we get an opportunity for devotional service, which means physical devotional service, getting up, doing something, then we should do that also. It's not that I'm sitting down, I'm chanting. Today, full day only chanting, right? So that's what Prabhupada mentioned in the morning. We were studying in chanting Hare Krishna book. We are not armchair philosophers. We are not sitting and asking for service. But when the service comes, we are not doing. Then it becomes kapata. But we want to become, we are patita. We are happy to accept that we are patita, but we don't want to become kapata. So we are asking for devotional service. When we get an opportunity for devotional service, we do devotional service, and then we come back and then we continue our chanting. So in this way, let us pray to the Lord that may our only desire be to serve, satisfy, and please Guru and Gauranga. May we give our best efforts to chant as much as possible, maximum number of rounds for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga. So please give the Sankalpa today. So tomorrow morning, there is no contemplation. How many rounds I should do, how many I should do, what I should do, where I should do, right? So in this way, today only we will answer all our questions. Tomorrow when we wake up, we are only going to simply cleanse ourselves externally, and then the whole day we're going to cleanse ourselves internally by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Kaliyavati Pavan Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai. Kaliyavati Pavan Harinam Sankirtana Mahayajna ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. So I'm seeing Rohini Mataji after a long time on Zoom. Shobha Mataji, Harjeet Mataji, Vijayalakshmi Priya Mataji, Rajneesh Prabhu, Anusha Mataji, Karpa Gavalli Mataji, Anjana Mataji, all the devotees, thank you very much for joining in. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai. Hey, Rohini Mataji, have we updated the shlokas for this week, Bhagavad Gita? Have you updated in the group this week?
I sent it to you. I think you've not put it.
Okay. So I'll post it in the group today.
Yeah.
This week, I think
I've sent
10.9,
it. Yeah.
10.9 and 10.10, isn't it?
Yeah. I've sent it to you last
week. Verses. Okay. So the verses for this week, 10.9 and 10.10. So I will share it today. This week is still there. Today we are on Thursday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Most of us would know it is a Chaturshloki verses only. So we can study 10.9, 10.10. We can meditate on. It's actually auspicious that we are meditating on these verses. Machittamat Gadha Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam. Tesham Satyuktanam Vachatam Priti Purvakam. Very wonderful verses. Machittamat Gadha Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Nityam. Dushyanti cha Ramanti cha Tesham Satyuktanam Vachatam Priti Purvakam. Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yenamam Upayantite. So we can beg for the intelligence to the Supreme Lord only. Please give me the intelligence so that I know what to do, what not to do in a way that pleases you. So we can meditate on these two verses, and then we can chant Hare Krishna for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga. So these two verses will be posting it today with the audio. Thank you. Rohini Mataji, kindly post it again to me. I'm having some WhatsApp issues. Please send it to me again. Yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Jagat Guru. Okay, whom am I seeing? Did I call out all the names? Rohini Mataji, Shobha Mataji, Harjit Mataji, Vijayalakshmi Priya Mataji, Rajneesh Prabhu, Anusha Mataji, Karpakavali Mataji, and our dear Sarva Gopeshri Mataji. Thank you so much for joining in. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Thank you very much. Let's prepare our consciousness for the most important day tomorrow.